Okay, welcome everybody of all different astrological signs. This is a video on Tarot 101. We are learning how to read, why to read tarot, why to use a spread, whatever spread you're going to use, irrelevant, but why would you use one? And we'll give an example of how to read a spread with the Celtic cross. Let me test out this sound and see if this is too quiet, if the other one is too loud, if this is too loud, or if this is just right. If you can still hear the sound of my voice and you're still interested. Yeah, we're going to try this out with this level of volume. Okay, all right, let's begin. Tarot 101. Okay, so the agenda that will follow for this. Hello, and thank you for being here. What is the structure of any given reading, of any given spread, right? A tarot spread is the structure, the layout of the cards on the table. And when you say, what kind of spread are you using? You're asking that question to get at, how am I organizing this reading? How am I thinking about, how am I outlining these questions, this experience? After we lay out the cards and we talk about the structure, I'll also get into the content a little bit. So I'll give examples of what a major arcana card is and a minor arcana card. And we'll go through some examples as well as going through an overview of major and minor arcana. Finally, we'll close out and we'll say thank you again. And hopefully you gain something. If you do gain something along this journey, along this video, please do like, comment, subscribe, and let me know. Let me know that this is working for you. Perhaps the music is not working for you. Do let me know. Whatever it may be, let me know. Please give some sign of how this landed with you, if it was helpful, how it was helpful, how it wasn't, so that I can keep going and or change directions accordingly. Thank you so much for watching. Okay, let's begin. So tarot cards, here are the kind of OG, original deck, OG, original, the original gang, I guess, was Rider Waite. I don't know a lot about the history of tarot. I know that it came about in the Renaissance, right before the Renaissance in the Middle Ages. It was a game. It's a divinity game. And so you play this game to reflect. You play this game to kind of manifest and divine what is to come, where you've been, where you are right now, and to really give yourself a place from a creative and visual place, because these are paintings, these are drawings that tell a story, and each of these is an aspect of humanity, really. And so they speak to us. We create with any given spread, whether we use one or not, because you don't have to use a spread. You could select cards randomly and read them randomly, but with intention. That happens. People do that, and that's fine. You can read with your intuition. You don't need to use a spread. The reason you would use a spread is to have that organization, to have that structure, and to have that predetermined signal of what is what. And so, for example, past, present, future is a very common basic spread. Past, present, future. And so it tells a particular story, right? In this case, the past is a place of appreciation. The present is a place of betrayal. What was once appreciated is now a hardship, and you have to forgive. There's this message, there's this advice of the present moment. Forgiveness being really important because there is also betrayal in the mix. There is also pain in the mix. Blame and pain. And then finally, in the future position, notice I said position, right? In the spread, there are numerous positions. In the future position, there's the Nine of Wands, and that tells a story of protecting, right? Like a guard at the fence, at the front of the property, protecting the property. So it tells a story from appreciating to having struggle to beating those odds, and then going back to not just appreciating, but protecting. So it tells a story. In this case, the story is chronological, but not always. The spread could be, for example, mind, body, soul. Whatever you determine it is, it's predetermined, right? So keep that in mind. Once you give it that meaning, once you give that position that meaning, it has that meaning. So let's get into an example of a structure. Let's call it the environment that we're going to read in. So this structure is called a Celtic cross. Celtic cross. And it's got 10 cards. And it has a shape of a cross. Like that. So we're going to give you an example. It goes like this. You put one, this is the first one, goes front, but not quite center, a little left of center. Then you have 2 right on top of it, sideways. That's your fork in the road. 3 below. 4 to the left. 5 up top. 6 to the right. 7, 8, 9, 10 in a line ascending to the top. A separate longitudinal line ascending to the top. And you put that to the right so that the whole thing kind of looks like a cross with a line next to it, depending on how you're, what perspective, if you're looking at it sideways or not, if you're looking at it straight on or not. This is the Celtic cross. Again, it starts here in the middle. So I'm gonna put cards on top of this to go through this again. First bottom, then left, top, right, and then the side. 4 cards going up on the side. Okay, so that the Halloween deck is a brighter color. It pops a little bit more against the background. So I just wanted to kind of show you the direction of the cards. The Halloween deck is super cool. I highly recommend it. I got it as a gift, and I will hopefully always give credit where credit is due. The deck, as it were. Halloween deck. Super cool. So let's get into this Celtic cross as an example. But before we do, I want to outline the difference between major and minor arcana. So, what is major arcana? What is minor arcana? What the hell am I saying? In tarot, there are 78 cards. 22 of them are major arcana. They move from card 0 to card 21. Let me make sure I'm right about that, because I always forget. Is it 21 or 22? I always get confused. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2. Yeah. So 22 cards altogether, and the last one, so it goes from 0 to card 22. Or rather, 0 to card 21, but there are 22 cards altogether because 0. Okay, so that's the major arcana. And the major arcana tells the fool's journey. So card 0 is the fool. The fool starts his journey. He begins going from fool to magician. As the magician, he is... Oh, wait a second, is that right? Yeah, it is right. As the fool going into the magician, he is taking action, right? The fool, he's foolish, he's starting something new, he doesn't know what he's doing. And then, step 2, take action. He's the magician. So it tells the story of the fool's journey, and it goes from the fool, the magician, into, let's see if I can remember it by heart, challenge accepted. The fool to the magician to the empress, incorrect, high priestess, then the empress, then the emperor. Then you have some role modeling tradition with the Hierophant. Then you have the lovers, a card of harmony. Then you have number 7, the Chariot, one of my favorite cards these days. So much about autonomy, so much about self-direction. Then you have number 8, Strength, about taming that, that power, taming it though, right? So like calculated anger, calculated response. Then you have number 9, the Hermit. Number 10, the Wheel of Fortune, completely unpredictable. Number 11, Justice. Number 11, right? And keep in mind those 2 lines, how they're equal, and how justice is about making things, cause and effect, balance out. Number 12. Ooh. What? The Hanged Man. Number 12 is the Hanged Man. It's about seeing things differently. So once you've seen justice, now you're seeing things differently. Number 13 is Death. Number 13, I love this card because it is all about change. It is all about change and hard change, which isn't change like always hard to some extent. Number 14, Temperance, which is about balance. 15, the Devil, which is about disharmony. So being so attached that you're detached from yourself. Being so obsessed. So it's a card that often signals addictions and obsessions. You're chained, the Devil. You're chained to something. Usually an idea. But it could also be a substance. It could also be a lot of things. You're chained. That's the Devil. Then card 16 is the Tower. From the Devil, you fall a great height. The Tower is a breakdown. And then card 17 is a breakthrough. So as you can see, there's a journey here happening, right? The Fool is going through the stages of life. 17 is the Star. So a breakthrough. You see hope. Then it gets a little murky. It gets a little confusing with the Moon. That's card, must be 18. Card 19. What is card 19? Like I'm blanking as if there is no card 19. What the heck is card 19? Oh my god! The Sun! I forgot, my god. Challenge like not met. I forgot the Sun. How could I? The Sun is a very optimistic card. It brings clarity through positivity. Then there is the number 20 card, which is a card of, it's called Judgment. And the idea is like Judgment Day. So after you've died and you've seen hope and you've fallen down, you've broken through and all these things, you kind of have this day of evaluation and assessment where you reflect and review what you've done, what you haven't done, what you failed to do, etc. Like this moment when I failed to remember the sun. And you take account for that. You take stock for that. And you kind of not necessarily repent, but what's the word I'm looking for? Like, do your time, right? Like, either give credit where credit is due if you did things well, or do your time and do it again if you didn't. Judgment. And then the final card is card number 21, which is the 22nd card in the journey. And that card is the World. And at that point, you've come full circle as the Fool. The Fool is now the World, and the World is an ending, but also a way to a new beginning. So that's the journey of the major arcana, and then there is the minor arcana. So let's show you some visuals here. So I'm not just, well, actually, maybe what I can do is like pop them on the screen as I talk about them. That's a good idea. I'll have to edit that in. What can I do for minor arcana? I guess I'll give you an example of each of the suits. So each of these suits. Can I do it like this? Is that annoying or helpful? I think it's a little bit annoying. So minor arcana, I'll show you one of each of the suits in different cards. So that means I actually have to put all this away. Each of the suits in different cards. Oh my god. Wow, that was a crazy fucking reading. Look at how many major arcanas there were. 6. 6 out of 10. Wow, that's wild. Lord almighty. 6 out of 10. Gotta really put that out. Okay, so I'm gonna show you the different suits. Wands, Pentacles, Major, Cups, Major, Swords. Pentacles, Cups, Swords. Give me a wand. Give me a wand, please. Wands. Okay. So these are examples of the cards of different suits. So let's go through. You see me like organizing this shit? Yeah, that's good enough. Oh, that's fine though. Yeah, so in the minor arcana are the number 2. There is no number 1. There's only ace. And then it goes from 2 to 10. And then it starts with the court cards, which begin with the page, followed up by the knight. So the court cards are, you can think of them as the stages of life. So not necessarily the phases, but the stages. Like I use the word stage very intentionally because it implies developmental stages. So like the development of life, of a lifetime. So the page are childlike, usually very playful. The knights are more adolescent. Look at how he is riding like recklessly. Please note. Right, so the knight is like the teenager of the bunch. The queen traditionally has very mom vibes, very mothering nature. And then there's a king, which we can't see because I didn't pull him out, but the king is the paternal figure. And here is an example of an ace. So this is the ace. Okay, so there's no 1, but there's an ace, and there are court cards, and then in between there's the number 2 to the number 10. Now each of the numbers have symbolism, and paired with the suit, right? So each suit has a certain symbolism to it. And when you cross-section the number or the court number to the suit, you have the symbolism of the card. So for example, Queen, Mother, Swords. These swords are, how shall we say, cutthroat, cold, business-oriented. They don't fuck around. So Queen of Swords, she's a truth teller. She is nurturing about truth. She is literally offering to her people the truth. She has this enormous sword. She already cut through all the bullshit. She knows what's nonsense and what is truth. And she is letting you know. She is offering it, right? So kind of this nurturing vibe, but about something that is more. The swords are associated with air. Air is mental, right? Air is up top, your head. You're in the clouds sometimes, but swords are an air suit, and they are more mental. They have more to do with your thoughts and beliefs. And so she is a truth giver. And the Ace of Swords is kind of a truth acquirer. The Ace of Swords is out there cutting through the bullshit and kind of gathering the most pure version of the truth. Okay, so that's the swords, air. Cups, wouldn't you know it? Water. The element of water are represented in the cups. Shocker. Much to do with relationships, connection, emotions, feeling, sensitivity, stuff. Water cups. So you have, in astrology, this is represented by the water signs, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, water signs. Pentacles are earth, very grounded people, very down to earth, right? Very practical usually, very responsible usually, very like keep their money and or make their money people. Because as you can see, they look like coins because they basically are coins. Are material goods, are resources that are tangible. Whatever we consider that we have is like how I like to think of pentacles. We have our health, we have our wealth. Some people extend this to like family, right? So in this card, for example, the 10 of Pentacles, the 10 signifies completion. 2 to 10, right? Ace to 10. The 10 is an accomplishment period. And so there's a sense of, I've made all this money, I've gathered my physical and mental health, and there's a kind of a family celebration thing going on here. There's an older woman, some dogs, a real sense of like nuclear, like good for you, you know, nuclear family, good times. Okay, the wands are fire. So the wands represent your creative, your power, your kind of what ignites you, what drives you, your passion, your heart. Well, maybe the cups are the heart. Maybe the wands are more like your, I don't want to say hands because hands go in the dirt. So hands to me feel like more earth, maybe perhaps your gut, like where your ideas come from before they even come from your head, before they even turn into thoughts. They're inspiration. They're in your gut. maybe I would say fire in the belly, right? Fire in the belly. That's the suit of wands. So you've got wands, pentacles, cups, and swords. Those are the 4 suits. And then you have the major arcana that I described before, where it's the fool's journey. And he goes through the stages. There's the magician, the second card, which is actually card number 1. The Hierophant, the Tower, the Star. Amazing. Okay. Very difficult journey. Now I have to very diligently mix these without turning anything upside down because I don't love reversed cards, which brings up a great point. Your cards sometimes will pop out reversed. You can choose to look that up and read about how to read reversed cards. I'm not going to go through it right now, but just know this. You don't necessarily have to read reversed cards. So if something pops up and it's reversed, you know what you can do? Just turn it around. You can just turn it around. You don't have to read the reverse cards. A lot of people don't. A lot of readers are like, nope, it came up, so it's going to be up. And that's just what it is. Excuse me. All right. So now let's go through the Celtic cross. So let's give you an example of a Celtic cross reading now that we've looked through the overview of major and minor arcana and what tarot is meant for. I would say, in a word, reflection. In another word, self-awareness. I will also say this, since this is an introductory video, this feels like the appropriate time to say this. You can go too far. Like, I've heard about tarot addiction. Oh, shoot, okay. You can go too far, as in you can do this too much. You can rely on it for too much. It's a tool, like anything else. And tools, they can become weapons if you use them wrong. Or if you use them right, but, in the right situation. What am I trying to say here? It's a tool. Use it like it's the internet, right? Like, use it responsibly. This is not shoot, I think I'm going to start this over. Yeah, okay. I'm going to do it face down because I don't want to get distracted, and I don't want to get I'll decide later what this is. What this is for. All right. We're going to look at a Celtic cross as an example of a spread. So this is a structure, so I'll just lay it out like we talked about before, and I'll go through what each position means. Okay, you start here in the middle, sort of middle. This is where you are right now, your present moment, here and now. Right behind it is the past. Right in front of it is the near future. Recent past is usually how I think about this. Near future. Just happened, about to happen. This is what's going to turn things around for you, for good or for bad, I don't know, but kind of see that movement? It changes things for you. It could, anyway. It's got that potential. This is your deep past. Roots. Sometimes this is your family's history. Sometimes this is your early childhood background. Roots. It can also be like a year ago if that feels very meaningful to what roots signify to you. Ooh, sorry. This is your beliefs and attitudes going forward. So as you move from the near past to the soon-to-be future, you have a certain ethos about you, and that is captured in this position right above the present moment. Beliefs and attitudes going forward, near, soon-to-be future. And then this line right next to you is more of a summary. with this card, the last card being the most summarized version of the summary. And this is you. This is you. I mean, the whole thing is you, but this is you in time. This is you moving through time. This is just you, like overview of you. The card at the bottom is how you see yourself when you look in the mirror. Whatever that means, literally, figuratively, how you see yourself. And the card right above it is how other people see you. Now, what I want to point out is that not everyone has the same level of accuracy about those things. And so when you're reading, you're also picking up on energy. So you may, and interpretation. So you may have someone that you're reading for, including yourself, who is really super blunt, honest, and accurate. Or you may have someone who goes too far in that direction and is self-deprecating. Or you may have someone, or arrogant, right? Or you may have someone who goes too little in that direction and is just ignorant, not even arrogant or self-deprecating, just like unaware of how people really see you, or how you really see you, or who you really are, right? Because sometimes we have a vision of who we are that is incorrect. It is just simply incorrect. Like, we are not, like, everybody else sees something else. So this is you to you, other people to you. Now this card, the card in between the overall summary and the mirror and other people's gaze. This motherfucking card. This is your hopes. This is your dreams. This is your fear. Your deep, and this is the same card I'm talking about. It's everything you want and everything you don't want at the same friggin' time. I call this the therapy card because it's basically what you're going to talk in therapy for the rest of your life. Or at least for a very long time. Therapy card. Hopes and fears simultaneously. And then you have an overview, a summary of the summary, like if you were telling a story, this is where it ends, right? Like, this is like I'm going to leave you on this note. And there is like some connection between the fork in the road and how it all turns out. There's this like direct connection between these cards. Here, kind of, as there are between these, those, etc. Okay, so that's the Celtic cross. I'm going to move through giving an example of a reading if you want to stick around and watch it. And I'm going to think of a hypothetical person that I'm reading for, because you need to anchor yourself to an energy when you're reading. Whether it's for yourself in a particular circumstance, or for yourself, or for another person, there needs to be something you're hanging on to before you even put stuff down. Like, I didn't do that before I put stuff down, and that's a no-no. But at least I didn't turn them over. So let's decide now. Okay, let's say I'm reading for Pisces. Let's say I'm reading for Pisces. Very compassionate, usually artistic bunch, very intuitive, very water sign, mutable water sign, ruled by Neptune, Pisces. Okay. Now Pisces, they are known to be, they can be a little bit moody. They can be trusting to their own detriment. And they can be maybe idealistic is the word, or like sometimes they like don't want to be in their feelings anymore. And so they just dip. They just like, are like, I'm out. Like, I'm going to escape this. I'm not even going to deal with it. Okay. Let's look at the compassionate, intuitive Pisces. Let's do a reading for Pisces. Thank you, Pisces. So I'm going to go through the positions as I go through the cards. Present moment, 3 of Pentacles. Fork in the road, Strength. Roots, 6 of Pentacles. Recent past, Ace of Wands. Judgment. Beliefs and attitudes moving forward. Seven of Pentacles. Soon to be future. Four of Pentacles. How you see yourself. Eight of Wands. How others see you. Death. Your hopes and your fears. King of Cups. The overview. Thank you, Pisces. Sorry, I put this here because I just want the light, but I'm kind of feeling like it's annoying. Okay. Let's talk about it. So if this is your present moment, then you combine, right? You integrate. I'm keeping in mind that I'm teaching you here. I'm guiding you how to read. So I'm going to be reading and teaching at the same time. Usually you may not take this approach when you are actually reading. You may just read, you may just tell the story, but you can also integrate teaching a little bit about tarot, and that's your style. If that's your style, it's your style. If it's not, it's not. Three of Pentacles is about collaboration, working together. This is your here and now. And so here and now, there's this working together, and especially in Pentacles fashion. And so working together for the sake of a material mission, for resources, a material mission of some kind. Three of Pentacles here and now. What may turn that road for you is strength. The Strength card is about being very courageous and protective. Maybe not protective, courageous and good at de-escalating. Good at simmering things down. In your roots, you have Pisces, you have Six of Pentacles, which tells me that there was a lot of give and take. The Six of Pentacles, as you can see. And so you want to look at the artwork. The artwork will signal to you what's going on. In one side of the Six of Pentacles, there's a beggar. On the other side, there's another beggar. One beggar is receiving, and the other beggar is waiting. And so there's a giving with three pentacles on one side, and a theoretical taking with two, or having something taken with two pentacles on the other side, and then one pentacle in the middle. Deep past roots here. Roots of giving and receiving. So it makes sense then that your present moment is one of collaboration, because you have been in that space of giving and receiving, Pisces, so people are willing to work with you. In your recent past, you have creativity. Pure, wholesome, good creativity. Ace of Wands. So the Ace is the first of the court cards or the Minor Arcana cards. It's the purest version. It's all of the best qualities of this suit, regardless of which ace it is. So the Ace of Wands are the best qualities of fire, inspiration, creativity, power, ideas, art, stuff like that. Judgment is in your beliefs and attitudes moving forward. So judgment is going to be on your mind. You're going to be thinking about death. You're going to be thinking about how are you going to be held accountable for the things that you do, for the giving and the taking, for the collaborating. This is influencing how you're moving forward into your soon-to-be future, Pisces, which is the Seven of Pentacles. Again, pentacles, 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 pentacles. Point to the viewer. You'll want to be picking up on patterns. Patterns are so important in tarot, because when you look at a story and you take a big picture overview, you're going to notice patterns. For example, some patterns I'm noticing here. There are 1, 2, 3 major arcana cards. Not unusual, but notable. Notable because Major Arcana cards are, statistically, you're less likely to get them at all. There are less of them in the 78 deck. And they are just, they hold a certain energy of like, this is a big life lesson. This is a developmental stage that you are big life lessoning. So you have 3 Major Arcana cards in this reading. You also have a lot of pentacles. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yeah, I'd say that's a lot. You only have 1 cup, which, like, you are a water sign, so it makes sense that it's in your most overview position, I would say. But it's just, like, interesting that you only have 1. It's very condensed into this position. I guess I would say right now you're exploring other sides of yourself. And then you also only have 1. No, you have 2 wands. Okay, so that's regular. It's not really notable, but still a pattern. And the wands, neither of them have figures, people in them. So now I'm noticing patterns about the artwork. Now this one has hands, but that's it. No faces. And this one is like no people even. There's a tiny little edifice, tiny little building, house, whatever, in the background. But besides that, this is just about straight up speed. This is momentum. This is like, if you're going to do it now. That's what this card says. Anyway, so I just took a T- timeout to explain to you that you'll want to pick up on patterns. Patterns are helpful to the story of the reading. So, 7 of Pentacles. As I was saying, there is a pattern of a lot of pentacles in this reading, which tells me that right now your perspective is definitely focused on like your money, your health, your everything that is yours, that you own, that, you know, can be taken away from you, but also like you generate it. 4 of Pentacles, how you see yourself. I would say that this is a card of really, I mean, he's holding on to things, like, and he's holding on to his pentacles in such a way that it's like he's bragging about it at the same time. You see this 4 of Pentacles energy? So I would say, Pisces, for you, how you see yourself, maybe a little bit protective of what you've got. Maybe you've had to do so much giving and taking and so much working with others that now that you've got some fruits of your labor and you're appreciating it, you're also kind of like looking at yourself like, okay, how am I keeping things and holding things and saving and managing my resources? And how what is that appearance? How does that come off to the people that I love, to the people I respect and respect me? That's kind of going through your head right now. And how do others see you? Well, they see you as a person of action. They see you as a person of momentum. Your hopes and fears, death, aka major transition. Major transition. Everything you want and everything you don't want is to change. Simply put. It's the same thing. It's one thing. And then King of Cups. King of Cups is the overview of this, and I think it's directly related to strength. If you can manage to use this strength to tame this lion, if you can do that, if you can get a little Leo in your Pisces, then you will have the assertion, the confidence, the strength of the King of Cups. Okay? So that was a reading for Pisces. Thank you, Pisces. You want to thank them for their time, the person that you're reading for, and then you just close out and you kind of like mix up the cards. You can turn them over first. You can turn them over. There's no, I mean, I think tarot is just very intuitive and very subjective. It's a game that, yeah, it's a process that people do differently, and I think that's the way it should be done, is differently and according to each person. So, you know, get some different sources on this. Don't just look to me, because while I may have been reading for 15 years, there are a kabillion people that have been reading for much longer and know much more than I do. I am just but a fan. Yep. Okay, great. So, thank you so much for learning about the structure of tarot in terms of how do you read a spread, in particular the Celtic cross. Thank you for listening to the major and minor arcana breakdowns. If you did, like, comment, and subscribe to signal that this content is helping you. Let me know what you would like to see more of or what you need to know. Let me know your questions, and thank you so much for watching. Happy reading.